Yo YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy SalvationsElite. We are back with another video, guys, and today we're doing a tips video, basically like a learn from the pros. I'm not exactly learn from the pros, but a tips video on positioning in Black Ops 4. Basically just how to put yourself in the best position to win as a team and as an individual, and how you need to position yourself on the map to really be the most successful. And so we're gonna talk about that today. We're gonna do it similarly like a learn from the pros, where I'm gonna bring like a handful of clips from different pro matches at the beginning of the video, and then the second half of the video is me talking about my personal gameplay and what I'm thinking about in those moments when it comes to positioning and how I position myself to benefit the team and try to get wins as best as possible. So I'm pretty excited about it. We're gonna talk about both sides, and it should be pretty beneficial, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Leave a comment down below if you guys do enjoy it, and let's just get right into the video and start talking about what we need to do to improve. So first of all, before we get into any of the clips, I want to fundamentally talk about what's important in Hardpoint and Respawn in general in Call of Duty, and just how the positioning is so important. So specifically, when you're trying to take control of a hill, that setup on the rotation for a hill can be the make or break for how successful you are. Obviously gun skill matters, but when it comes directly to setup, it's so incredibly important. So what we're gonna see in all these clips is how the pro teams are extremely good at creating a lot of space for themselves before the hill even starts. So on that rotation, they kind of spread out in a large area of the map near where the new hardpoint's going to be, to really create a lot of space for themselves and leeway moving forward. So what happens is that, they sit in corners to create space, and it allows them, first of all, to get a good read for the opponent, and it just creates more space and more time for that player to respawn, spawn up, and still get back to the hard point before the other team can get even to a place where they can contest. And we're going to see some really good examples of that throughout the video today. Fundamentally, that's kind of like the first big thing. Obviously, how you do that effectively is that you play long lines of sight, but you play in ways and in areas where you're able to actually trade kills. So a good example of that would be like on Arsenal. If you're sitting on top of the jet statue, which is one of the hard points, and you have somebody sitting inside of lobby, that guy in lobby is technically like a bait for the guy on statue, where if you're in the right position, you're getting into a gunfight. If you don't win it, your teammate who's on statue can still potentially clean it up for you. That's just an example. And again, we're going to be seeing that all day with all these clips, but that's just something to consider while we watch them. So the first clip is a clip from Elevate versus 100T on Seaside. So on the second hill, 100 Thieves has a really nice setup. I think it gives them a lot of map control. It helps them really secure this hard point and get them a lot of points moving forward. Before we watch the clip, here's a screenshot of the setup that 100 Thieves has on this new hill. As you guys can see, Priestess sitting at the back, kind of back behind by Bakery, watching the back of the spawn, watching front white. Slasher sitting inside a tile, so just kind of watching for that rotation and trying to get a pick on that side. We have one player in hill. We have two players sitting in wine or / barrels, watching the front of hill. So again, only one player is actually in the new hill. 4 of the players are pushed out pretty far, so it gives them a lot of leeway early on to get of where Elevate is trying to push from. So now let's just watch the clip real quick, and then we can talk about it.
They need whalers. They need, a guy like M. Ruiz, Profizi to step up and contribute to these wins.
Well, let's see if they're able to do it. They do get some time on the tail end of the first hard point, but now with 50 seconds remaining in courtyard, the focus will shift there. Priesta dealing with one side. He's going to end up falling. A Slasher that has to pick it up, and him and Kenny able to combo to rail everybody that pushes back steps. Now spawning out towards first will be Elevate as they get into their next push, but 100 Thieves, for the time, have the setup they desire.
And this is exactly what Slasher wants. You'd see with that stock just sort of locking down one little hallway, trying to force them to fly on.
So you can see there how important 100 Thieves first setup was, and it gave them basically 25 seconds or so of uncontested time. And then as well, when they get that sweep of all of the players from Elevate, then they push forward a little bit and they put a little bit more emphasis on the front of the hill. It's like the winery side, because of the rotation to the next hill, which in this situation they actually lost the gunfight, so it didn't work out. But put more weight towards that barrel side, because if they're actually able to get those kills inside of barrels right off the rip there, like where they die in this situation, but normally if they get those kills, they can then start pushing out immediately and start a rotation for the money hill, which is the fountain hill. So that's what pros are so good at, and like that's why like no amp team's gonna beat like a legitimate pro team, because they have this movement ironed down so well as a squad. And so when you're playing as a solo, you have to take that into account. and really be aware of like, what are we missing from this setup right now, even though I'm playing with 4 randoms in ranked play. Like, what am I missing right now, and where can I be that will help the team the most? And so that's where you have to really, you know, be proactive in your setups as playing in ranked, and not just be the selfish dude who's just trying to kill whore or whatever, because that might not be the best way for you to win as a team. So the next clip is actually from the same game, and this is again 100 Thieves Elevate, and it's actually the end of the same hill, but the next set of hills, so like 100 points later. 100 Thieves wins the courtyard hill, and Elevate decides just to scratch it. They're like, yep, screw that, we're just gonna go rotate to new. But 100 Thieves realizes that that's the case, and that's exactly what Elevate's doing. So 100 Thieves decides to rotate with them and actually beats them there. And then you're gonna see how good of a setup 100 Thieves has and how effective it is, and it allows them to secure another significant amount of points right off the rip of this hill because of how good their setup is. Again, let's just watch it, pay attention to 100 Thieves on the minimap and how they're set up, because they really are pushed out from that fountain hill, but they really are funneling Elevate through the stairs, because that means that they know that that's the only place they're going to be able to be is the stairs. They're funneling them in there, which allows them to win that first set of gunfights again.
Streets, unfortunately, it's taken down.
Yeah, I think it actually ended up trading.
But Slasher still locking this down, and yeah, they're going to fight for these 20 seconds. They do send Kenny an enable. There's a ping out of Kenny. He's just making sure they're the first ones here.
Well, you can see as soon as the ping happens, everyone else leaves. They leave Octane the hard point. They know there's no other pressure there. Octane's not going to have to deal with any gunfights, so he'll just pick up the time. They can take the 4-on-5 on the other side of the map, and Slasher goes big with 2. Skies does the same on that side for Elevate, but now it'll be Enable in a bit of a different position than he had last time. This time, he's the one tucked away, not trying to go for the break, working with Kenny in the 2-on-2. You don't even need Enable there. Kenny's able to pick up both. They've got early control. Didn't have to invest the streaks. This is a huge moment for 100 Thieves.
It's like,
so again, they win that early rotation. They set up perfectly, which allows them to take basically the whole hill because of that original setup. And over the past few weeks, nobody has been better at hardpoint than 100 Thieves for the most part, and that's just been a big reason why is the rotations and their setups have been on point. Obviously, their communication is extremely good right now, and they're just in a really good spot. So the next clip is another Pro League clip. It's E-United versus E6, and it's on Arsenal. So what we're going to see again is another incredible setup on a new hill, which allows for E-United to basically secure the first however long of the hill. And so we're going to see it here. So this is the rotation from the Junkyard Hill to the Statue Hill, and let's just watch how they set up in mid, how they set up in Trophy/Cafe, and they basically control like almost the whole half of the map because of their setup.
To get some points from this, but you start to look at that minimap. Look at number 9. That's going to be Prestini, already rotating around. 8's backing off, 6 as well. This is where you go, you know what? They've got a full 5 stack on it. We ain't breaking it. So they're going to set up perfectly for this. Abizi's positioning, I was going to say it's nice, but it looks like it's very tradable for Enigma 6. That's exactly what happened. And I was looking for someone who to actually get the very back. Arstes has now taken that role. ICR wins over Maddox at that point, especially when it's in the hands of Alec. That's actually his first kill of the game, though.
So there you go. I mean, a mistake that United actually did make there is that they should have sent somebody back into lobby after one of them died in mid. So they actually ended up losing the hill because of that, because lobby's so important. But regardless, that setup was incredibly nice, and something, again, you don't have to do it every single time, like at least be that extreme with it, but that's a pretty extreme example. But it is important to throw off the opposing team once in a while, and that's a good way to do it, is to throw in those weird janky setups on rotation once in a while. So again, the next clip is United again, but this time versus Splice on Frequency. And once again, this is a pretty basic setup for these control hills. I mean, this is kind of how Frequency works, but I just want to again show you how effective these setups can be when you do it right. And there's 2 pretty drastic examples in this game, back-to-back hills. So we'll see how Splice does a good job here at setting up, but they lose the gunfight, and then United's actually able to break, and then they have an incredible rotation to the new control, which gets them off to a massive lead early in this game. So first of all, pay attention to Splice's setup, which I'll show a screenshot of, and then closely pay attention to how United trades those kills and positions themselves very patiently in mid to trade those kills, and then watch E-United's rotation to the blue control, because it's absolutely dominant and allows them to hold almost the whole hill because of how great their rotation was.
Arstes and Abizi, so for Splice, milk the free time. They're going to have a fair amount of it here as United slowly but surely try and push up the map. 2 players going through top middle, the flank comes through. Clay wins that massive fight. I believe there was another kill that came through there, simple on accuracy, and yeah, because of that, United do break.
And Clay, by God, just timed that as perfectly as you possibly could. Looney was staring at the flank for 7-8 seconds. Literally, the second he gives it up, Clay snaps, jumps in. It was time for his teammates hitting the front. And again, it could not have possibly been executed better. Now E United is forcing the Splice to spawn in the back. This is not what Splice wants, especially not if Simp gets streaks. And it's great that you shut those down, but it's bad that you are not in the hill. You are not getting control. This is a tough rotation to get by. It's a good start to shut down a BZ. Now you got to deal with Arcides in the hill with the KN. You got to deal with the front runner Simp to be out in charge, and Placer maybe going for some kills mid-map. This is a tough spot for Splice.
So yeah, they don't even end up touching that hill till like, what, 10 seconds left or so. And so I mean, United's setup was so nice. So as a team, it's so important to be aware of each other's positioning. And again, that all comes from communication and understanding of spawns and how generally teams will rotate and how players will rotate. And the more you play and the more you're aware of that in game, the easier it's going to be as you get along. And personally, I've seen a lot of improvement in this area for me in this year. I just think the videos that I've been making for you guys have really also been helping me help mentally process that even better. So I've seen improvement in that category, and I know you guys will too. So the next part is just explaining like my individual processes when I'm playing as an individual in like ranked or playing with a team that you don't really know. In this specific case, it's ranked play, playing as a solo. But let's just go through each clip and kind of talk about. There's a few clips. We'll just go through them and talk about what I was thinking during these clips. This is on Hacienda. We're just playing Hardpoint. So right off the spawn, I'm seeing, all right, 3 of my teammates are running towards hill. I think we should be good in that regard. So I'm going to push with my teammate up towards top plat and see if we can get a little bit of pressure and some, pressure from both angles. And so I think a lot of players just fall in the trap of just going where their teammates are going, or they're kind of mindlessly playing, or they might get out of position. Maybe you just don't even push, or you're pushing through mid or something weird, like unnecessarily. But in this situation, I'm just like, all right, I'm pushing my teammate top plat. We're going to get top plat control and help overtake this hill. So that's kind of what goes down. Let's just show you the clip real quick, and then we can talk about it again. So again, when playing solo, being aware and mindful of your positioning versus your teammates is probably the most important thing. And like in that situation, my teammates just weren't watching top whatsoever. They were really preoccupied with the defensive side. So it was really my burden a lot of this game to kind of hold the anchor and do the dirty work when it comes to like spawns and map control. So that's what we're going to see a lot of in this game, is that, my teammates just weren't as aware of that. I was taking that map control in those important areas of the map. So this clip again is another rotation clip where we're going from mid back to the Lambo spawn, and I realized that none of my teammates are even considering anchoring. So I go back there. I generally don't anchor on this map when I'm playing with buddies, but in this situation, I'm like, all right, I got to go anchor because nobody else is going to go anchor. So I get back there, I get a few kills, and it works out pretty well for the squad. So let's just show you that clip real quick.
Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint locked down.
So the final clip is just another situation where we overtake the hill, and I immediately realize, okay, well, there's already 3 of us in hill. We don't need to all be here. Let's spread out, get some more map control. So I pushed out towards Lambo, get a few kills, help secure the map, and then get back and end up getting traded back in hill. But again, it's just about the movement and positioning, and this is a good idea. It's just, you have to pay attention. All right, my teammates are chilling in hill. We don't need all of us in hill. Get out of hill, push out a little bit, get to a better, more advantageous position where you can get a pretty easy kill, and it just gives your team more leeway and more direction when it comes to getting a good idea of where these guys are coming from. So let's just play the clip.
Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint is secure.
Yep, so there it is. I mean, again, it's just being about self-aware, and understanding what's beneficial to you as a team and to you as an individual. The biggest mistake, like I was saying all video, is that teams just get too scrunched up inside of one area. Whether it's a hard point or somewhere else, they usually just get too tightened up into one area, and they don't push out enough for map control, and they you know, they don't want to push themselves too thin, but at the same time, that can be what is most beneficial if you're in the right spot. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned a little bit. That gameplay that I was just talking about right there from mine was literally just from last night, like at 1 in the morning. I was just playing. I was kind of tired, so I wasn't like as twitchy as normal, but ended up working out. It was a pretty fun gameplay. I might use it for a video later or something. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, learn something new, like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Share the video with all your buddies, with your teammates, whoever it is. And, you know, comment down below what you guys learned or what you guys want to see in the future. But as always, guys, I'm your boy SalvationsElite, and we will see you next time. I'm out.